Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm the king. Welcome back to the channel. How are we all doing today? I hope you're all doing good. Today, we are talking about the Blight in Dead by Daylight. After about a day of playing around with him and putting in like maybe 10 to 12 hours onto the PTB, I can now give and formulate a good opinion on how I feel about him and some changes that we can make to help him improve and make him better. That's why we have these PTBs after all. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the flaws with the Blight and how to fix him and my general opinion on him and everything like that. Before we jump on into it, two things. Number one, Polly and I are giving away 15 copies of this brand new DLC that you guys can redeem on PS4, Xbox, anything you like. The link will be down below if you're interested in joining that giveaway. In addition to this, we are currently live on Twitch, so if you want to talk about anything, you want to come and say hello, link will be down below, and you guys are able to come on out. With that being said, let's talk about the Blight. So, it is to no one's shock that the Blight isn't the best killer in the game. In fact, he's more fun, if anything, and we've seen the distinction between fun characters and between really strong characters. Fun being subjective in a sense if you're trying to kill, but the way I look at fun is fun on both sides. You know, playing him, getting some kills, doing good, and playing against him. Something like the Demogorgon, fun to play as and against. You know, he's not over the top or he's strong like the Oni, where on one side it's really fun to play, but the other side, you know, you're dreading it. With him, Ping Pong Boy, he's pretty alright. You know, he needs some tweaks in order to make him just a little bit more viable, because as playing him for about, 10 hours, I've began to gain a little bit of frustrations with certain things, and obviously, again, this is why we have the PTB, and in fact, I already know that there's changes because McLean said on the developer stream that he was having, or just his stream in general, that the build that we actually receive is already 1 week old, and the build that they're already testing and messing with is 1 week towards the future, which already has a bunch of different changes to him. So maybe the things that I mentioned in this video are already subject to change and are probably already changed, but I still would like to give you guys my generalized opinion on it. So let's start off with why this guy isn't the best. Number one, when you're ping-ponging about, which is a really cool ability, I must admit, the hitboxes are superbly large. Like, every time you run on into something and you're stuck in like a little bit of a tight corner, if you try to run out or if you're just running in general and there's an object to your left and your right, you automatically get hit by that object, forcing you to run into it and then slam into the wall or whatever it is. And then that brings about a little bit more problems. And here are the more problems that brings about. So once you slam out into this wall and you're stuck in this tight corner, because the hitbox is so small, if you try getting out, you'll basically get hit by this object again, and you end up wasting all of your charges trying to come out. And in the sense that you wait, you would have to go into your fatigue where you need to stab yourself. Now here's the thing with the fatigue. The window between using your power again is so small. I don't see a lot of people talking about this one, but it is about 1 second in between when you can correct your mistake and then use your power again, which is little to no time when you're trying to turn. By the time you turn and to correct where you need to go, that's it. You need to stab yourself again. That window is extremely small, and I would like that for it to be a little bit bigger. If it was just big enough where you can correct yourself and correct your power and then use it again, it would be really good. So two things that we have so far: fix the hitboxes a little bit and fix, the time in between when you can use your power and ping pong about. Now, the next thing on the list that I have for him that would make him a little bit more viable is when you're running on into a wall or an object, maybe so you don't get stuck in these tight corners, have the bounce back be a little bit larger. They could even go as far as, depending on how far you run on into an object and the speed you're going into the object, you bounce back even more. Maybe it can just be a set for the skill cap to be regular and normal, but if you bounce on into an object and then have like a bigger like bounce back, it will give you the opportunity to correct yourself a little bit quicker and keep on running. Because if you run on into a corner or something, you barely bounce back when you run on into the wall, and then by the time you turn, your power is done. Those are the only frustrations that I have been getting with him. The killer itself is a very fun killer. I enjoy myself playing him. He's very unique, he's very fun, and he has a high ceiling and potential to be really good. He has amazing map pressure, which is great, but then falls a little bit short when it comes down to just regular chases, as you know most killers do, in the sense of pallet looping, because his power doesn't necessarily help him in those situations unless you're really, really good with him. I've also seen the idea of people saying that when he is in his charge and he's running around, give him the opportunity to smack pallets down and break them, similar to the Oni or something like that. This is an interesting concept. I don't necessarily think he needs something like that. If you really want to, you can even go as far as making his ultra rare normal if he really needs that buff where his final dash attack will put you into the dying state, and swap that out for something like breaking the pallet. I don't know which one needs to be based, but I don't really think that it needs to be in the game. I think it's fine as is, and I don't think that he needs a one-shot ability to be good or anything like that, as he seems, you know, pretty fine. I always wanted a killer or something like this that's just speed, and this is exactly what he is, and it's just going to take some time to adjust to him and to be better. The final thing on the list that I would like to change to him that I hope that they're going to be changing is the angle of him turning. So right now the angle at him turning is about 30 degrees or so, maybe 45 if you really want to give it a stretch. And it reminds me of Oni when they nerfed him and you really couldn't do much, you know? So what ends up happening is when you use your power and you're trying to bounce around, you can't really control where you're going. And because of this, you're forced to like run on into a wall somewhere and then run on all the way until you maybe can get that perfect hit. And the good thing is the time that you have to run is about, you know, 10 seconds, I believe, or 5 seconds, not 10 seconds, 5 seconds. So it's pretty good. You run about maybe 20 meters, which isn't that bad. So you have a good opportunity to correct yourself by running on into something. However, the turning rate is so low. If the turning rate was a little bit higher, this could actually help him in the sense of looping. And if you really know how to utilize his power, you can even like turn and keep going. Imagine if they gave him like a little bit of a flick similar to Hillbilly initially when using your power. That would make him really good. It would basically be like a buff that Legion should have had. But yeah, those are pretty much the changes that I would say would make this killer a little bit better. And again, as a developer said, that they're already working on some things and we already could see some things coming out. But don't jump the gun, you know, don't go ahead and flood the comments of, you know, all the devs saying like, he's so weak, please fix. Because as I said, they've already made some adjustments, and this is why we have the PTB. Think about Ghostface when he just came out in the PTB, super weak, kicked out his power every time. Think about the Spirit when she just came out on a PTB. You wouldn't even think that she was a top tier killer at the time. So it takes some time for them to adjust, and these are just my opinions that I think would make them a little bit better, and we'll have to wait to see what they do. And obviously, as I said, they've already made some changes, so we'll just have to wait. Maybe we'll get them into PTB. Maybe we'll go ahead and get them when the servers are live. Those are my 2 cents on the brand new killer, the Blight. We're going to be on Twitch playing him out a little bit more, understanding a little bit more. And once we get a full, good understanding of him, we're going to go ahead and put out a video on how to accurately play this guy, some add-ons that really help him, and like a full-blown guide, essentially, on how to play this guy a little bit better. With that being said, I've been the King. I tip my crown to you guys. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, subscribe for some more daily Dead by Daylight content. We're nearing 90,000 subscribers on a road to 100,000 in a race with Polyester, so please consider subscribing. And as always, I'm the King. I tip my crown to you guys, and we'll see you in the fight.